Why are they taking the machines?
We got busted.
It never even occurred to me that the game was illegal.
But for over 3 decades, pinball was banned in New York City.
You know, growing up as a Gen Xer in the Midwest in like the late 70s into the 80s or what have you, you did two things as a kid more often than not. You went bowling and you played video games or pinball. Now me, I'm about video games. I love video games. However, I did play pinball a little bit here and there. I wasn't good at it or anything like that, but I could see the allure of it. The bright lights, the ball plunging, the tilt, and when actually the flippers and all that kind of stuff, the excitement that it generates, whatever. I could see the allure of that, especially when you go and actually talk about, you know, a generation before me, and that was their video game system, and just how that was, you know, a big thing or what have you. And so I could really see how it was a draw for young folks way back in the day. I actually had no idea that the game was banned for like 30 years in most major cities in America because of dumbass laws, just being real. And the US has weird history in regards to laws, and this movie shines a light on one of the dumbest ones ever passed, and the dude that helped get it repealed. Now, for me, I like the journey of going from no one to hero types of stories. Those are fun. Those are my jam. I also like diving into history of like games and toys, things like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually put myself as a main character on here. I'm the target audience for this. But I'll try and give perspective for casual viewers who this might not necessarily be for. Because you always want to know the slant of the people that's reviewing, just so that you can go ahead and actually gauge, make an educated decision for myself if the movie is for me or not. Because I watch movies that are exclusive to streaming content out there. I watch them so you don't have to, in case maybe they're bad. I watch them so you don't have to, but I'll also let you know if you should watch them or not. Do me a favor, if that sounds good to you, click like, share, subscribe. And now, let me get into this review. Pinball, The Man Who Saved the Game, premiered on Hulu in March of 2023. It has a runtime of 1 hour and 30 minutes, and it stars Mike Fiest as Roger, as a young man, Crystal Reed as Ellen, and then Dennis Boscarius as Roger is now, an older Roger. Okay? So here's what we have as a story. The story of Roger Sharp, the young Midwesterner who overturned New York City's 35-year-old ban on pinball machines. That's it. Very quick synopsis. That's what it's all about. It's about this one guy. This being a biographical look at Roger Sharp's story, there's certain expectations for a main audience member, because we need to go and actually understand the journey of the main character. We need to get reasons to why we should go and actually cheer for him. And since it's a pinball movie, show some classic pinball machines and gameplay to get us hyped, make us care about the subject matter. Now, for casuals, the story has to be endearing and the characters developed in an entertaining manner. Since pinball is centered to the story, keep the relevance to the characters and story, or you're going to lose a casual viewer's attention. So I'm going to attempt to not tilt this review. Oh, all right. Well, you may not like it, but that's a solid dad joke. Let's go with it. It's the normal story of a normal guy to hero and Roger. It's kind of like the unanticipated hero type thing, right? We see how and why he's into pinball. It's served him a purpose, and it serves a current purpose for him. And it comes back into his life later when he's a bit directionless. And it's corny sounding, but him playing pinball helps him figure out some things and gives him a big chance at fame, notoriety, good job, all that kind of good stuff. And by the same token, he brings the game back to prominence, which benefits pinball. So it sounds corny, but the story has that duality to it. Now, Roger's story is told with him narrating his own story as he's being interviewed now as an older man. The framing of this works because it breaks the fourth wall a bit, as we kind of see an older Roger observing the movie version of his story, and he kind of calls BS on some Hollywood-esque spins that Hollywood would normally put in to go and actually make a movie a little bit more interesting. And it's kind of actually fun to see. So him going in and actually saying, nah, it would never happen like that. It didn't happen. It was more subdued. It was more this, and that. Is actually kind of cool. It's kind of fun. Whatever. The dialogue is kind of okay in this one. It's nothing too sappy, but it's nothing Shakespearean. It moves along well enough. Main and casuals will be fine with the story overall. The acting for this is decent, not great. The real endearing aspect is that the actors are cast well. They have a certain charm that goes along with the time period of the 70s in New York. As a cast, I bought the story that they were trying to convey. So as an ensemble, they work together. Individual performances, not so much, but as a cast, I liked them together, what they were doing. But the standouts for me were when Dennis Bouskaris, I'll just, you know how I do, you know. I've murdered the man's name a couple different times here. I apologize. When he's speaking as older Roger, I like that. It just felt so real, and I liked his portrayal. And I also like Brian Batt as Harry Colaris. His character was fun as well. Every time that he was on the screen, he actually stole a couple of scenes. It was just fun. Overall, I'm thinking mains and casuals are going to be fine with the acting. Nothing, phenomenal, but nothing bad on it. Just nice, charming cast. Overall thoughts about the story is that it was quick, it was charming, and it was interesting. Enough human story elements to kind of give you like a B story that you need. In other words, there's another element that we're following, and it's probably the main thread that's actually here. But since you're there for the pinball story, that's the main overarching thing. But there's a very obvious B story that kind of goes along with that is endearing as well. The movie is very similar to kind of like Flaming Hot on Hulu, in that it doesn't have the cultural significance of Flaming Hot, but both are family-friendly movies that give you another story to show you that putting yourself out there can work for you if you keep at it and you have a support system. So I liked it. It was a nice, soft layup type of a deal of a normal person to a hero, and then finding out other things to value in life, not just fame, fortune, money, all that kind of good stuff. So those are my thoughts about it. That's my review aspect of it. But now, let's give you that verdict. For main target audiences, people that like the hero's journey, you're a fan of pinball, things of that nature, I'm going to go and actually tell you people to watch this film. It's entertaining for people that like self-discovery or journey to hero stories. Plus, the pinball stuff is a fun vehicle to follow with it. They made it relevant. It was fun to go and see some of those. I know a couple of those pinball games are real and they exist. Other ones I'm not, because I'm not a historian like that. I don't know if they really did. But there was like a fascinating discussion that took place about the evolution of pinball and things like that, and it was actually kind of interesting, and I think main target audiences will like that journey as well. And not to beat a dead horse, but the characters are fun to watch, so I say definitely watch it for main target audience. For casual viewers, I'm gonna say put it on your playlist to watch at a later time. Now, I can't see a casual wanting to watch a movie about pinball, just being honest. But if you want something that you and your video game or pinball obsessed partner wants to watch and that you can go and actually stomach, this movie should be something that you can throw on to satisfy everyone and give it a good watch. It is a nice, safe, family-friendly hero's journey that I think will go ahead and actually be fun for everybody, lighthearted. It's kind of like that Saturday or afternoon watch type of thing, not something that I'd be like, oh yeah, let's watch this tonight, anticipated thing, but something like, you know what, let's watch that one movie about the pinball game, and I think both of you would like it. So it's a playlist for that. So again, for main target audiences, I'm going to say it's a must watch at your convenience. For casuals, put it on your playlist so that you can have something to watch when your game obsessed friends go ahead and actually come on over and you want something that you can stomach. But that's what I have for Pinball, The Man Who Saved the Game, on Hulu. Check it out.
That is a game of chance.
That is a game of skill.
Well,
I appreciate you staying for the entire time. You know what to do. You gotta go ahead and actually click like, share, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. Maybe even watch one of my other reviews on here that the algorithm thinks that you might like of mine. But until the next time, I'll holler at you. Take care of yourself.